month is upon us, and I get it because you feel like you didn't make the best of January. You want to hit the ground running for February. And I've seen a couple of funny memes where people are saying, "Oh, January was free trial month. My new year starts in February, and it's now I'm bringing all my energy in." But I don't want you to just ride on that wave without reviewing January first. So let's review January together. And the whole idea of this video is to show you what is possible or what you've been missing out on. So I'll be reviewing my January from majorly a business perspective, just so that you see what it takes to run an expert brand. You can see some, blind spots you've maybe been ignoring, and some additional things that you can start doing in your business to really just grow your expertise and position you for more wins in the month of February. So I'd like to start with my marketing effort. I did put in a lot of effort into marketing in January. I won't say a lot per se, but then compared to like the relative January, like January used to be like a chill month for me. Last year, January, I spent most of it traveling, but then January this year was quite important for me because I use January to lay a foundation. So I always like to go through like my Instagram insights, look at what all the efforts that I put in January is. Yeah, so for January I had planned to make about 16 videos and I ended up making only 12. I think that's a pass mark. Yeah, in between January, I had issues with some of my files, so I lost some of my videos, and it sort of affected my output. But regardless, like I still stayed on track with my marketing. Now, as a result of doing that, most times people say, "Oh, people don't spend money in January, people don't buy in January." Well, I had 7 new clients in my business in January, and for a month that people say, "Oh, people don't buy or people don't, sign up," I think that was a fairly good month. Moving on, I also like to even look at the conversations that I had with people. So I know people like to pay attention to the metrics like the likes you got, the comments you got, how many new followers you got. But then if you're not seeing what you want, if you're not seeing the numbers there, then look for the numbers maybe in the conversation. So for me, I like to audit the conversations that I had with people. How many quality conversations did I have? How many of those conversations turned to potential leads? How many of those conversations turned into potential sales yet? How many of those conversations got people to work with me? Or many of those conversations ended in a speaking engagement or in a brand deal? Do you see? So more than just looking at it from a POV of the algorithm and almost always crying about it, I also like to look at how my Instagram even helped me grow my email channel. Do you see? So with that, I would also even like to move into my email marketing. I like to say I was really proud of my email marketing this month. I had an average open rate of 46%, and industry standard is about 20 something percent or thereabout. Now that means I really did well with my email marketing. You guys were reading my emails, thank you. And even beyond that, I had people who responded, who swiped up, to respond to my emails. I had some amazing conversations with my community member in my emails this month. And if you're not on my email list, you're missing a whole lot, because that's like direct access to me. Most times people ask me questions, connect with me over there, ask me questions, and I even share things that I typically don't share on Instagram or here on YouTube on there. So you can see the link popping up on the screen. This is a good time to join my email list here today, not tomorrow. You want to join the email list today. Now, even beyond my open rate, I had a new freebie that I created this month, and in a month I was able to generate about 200 new leads. Like, that's really amazing. The fact that I got almost 200 people to download that freebie, is still really blowing my mind. And that was beyond any marketing. So there wasn't any extra marketing or any ads with that, just, organic marketing. And it just means like 200 more people are aware of what it is that I'm doing. And why I'm sharing all of this is just so you know that there's so much that goes on behind running a business and just making videos and going your way. So growing your business, growing your expertise, attracting clients is more than just making videos, sharing content on Instagram, and just going here. And if you even have like an active marketing system in place, it means that you can attract clients without having to dance on social media or without having to do things that are controversial. Moving on to that, I also like to review my speaking engagement. One of the things I want to focus on this year will be to learn more speaking engagement and more speaking gigs. And in the month of January, I had 5 bookings. That's really cool. Though they are for events that have not yet happened, but I'm just excited at the thought of the fact that, oh, I get to speak in 5 new places. I get to reach new audiences. I get to connect with new people. That means if I maybe speak at this event and there may be 100 people there or 50 people there or 1,000 people there, more people get to know me, and all of those things is adding to my brand awareness. And from there, I have an active funnel, that allows me convert these people that I get as speaking engagement to become active clients of mine. So that means you also need to start to evaluate this aspect of your business. As an expert, it means you have wisdom, you're a thought leader. So that means you can, learn speaking engagement, you can speak, you can connect with more people outside the scope of what it is that you're doing currently. So you see why it's very, very important for you to package and promote your excesses in a way that you're worthy of these things. And one thing I tried to do late last year was to ask myself, like, why are the people that are getting speaking engagements? Why they get speaking engagements? And what can I do to learn more speaking engagement? Do you see? Now, beyond all of this, I'd like to move into my plans for the month of February. And this isn't like a comprehensive plan. I'll maybe like to see it as my February ins and outs. I've been seeing this cool thing on Instagram where people have been talking about, their ins and outs for the year. But I like to do ins and out for the month of February. My first in, which is what I'm doing already, will be to, add more ways to how people can discover me. So one of the reasons why I started to create content here on YouTube is so that more people can learn from me. There's only so much I can share on Instagram. There's only so much I can share with my email community. I wanted to be able to do in-depth videos, in-depth walkthrough like this, and really just show you what is possible with your expertise, show you the mistakes you're making, guide you. And most importantly, from my end, I wanted more people to discover the amazing value that I give. Yeah, and that's why I'm creating videos here on YouTube so that I can grow my awareness, I can grow my client base, most importantly, and I can even show you what is possible. So let's just say I'm already living out my first in for the month. Apart from just that, I also wanted to have something that when people search for me, or when people search for my name or search for the expertise in my area, I have more resources that pop up. So beyond just my Instagram, if somebody needs to make an actual decision about maybe working with me or about employing me or bringing me to a board role or inviting me to speak, they have more things that they can see about me. And with YouTube content, it means that I become more visible, on search engine platforms, because YouTube is one of the biggest search engine platforms that exist at the moment. Now, beyond that, I'm also a big fan of learning. And in the month of February, I'm currently enrolled in an intensive called Visionary Compass, and it's quite detailed. Yeah, I looked at the calendar just before I started creating this video, and I'm like, okay, that's a whole lot. And that's one of the things I'm going to be prioritizing in the month of February. I always believe that as experts, as thought leaders, as high value people, it's important that you're prioritizing learning. And beyond doing all of this, it's important that you're actively engaging your brain and you're doing things that really just sharpen your skills. So this is your cue to sign up for a program in this month, read a book in this month, go ahead to do things that are aligned with the kind of life that you see yourself living. I don't want you to just have short-term goals. Short-term goals are great, they're amazing, they help to keep up the momentum. But I also want you to align your short-term goals with longer goals that drive you towards the kind of life that you see yourself living. One thing I'm also going to be adding to my ins this month is resuming the gym. So because of the prayer season in January, I took some time off the gym, and just because I wanted to use January to lay some solid foundation, which I have already done, I went to the gym sometime in January, but I wasn't the most consistent. But then we're, going in the month of February with like bullish energy, and not just because I want to maybe lose weight, but most especially because I want to be fit. So I've realized that every time I go to the gym, I don't have brain fog, my productivity levels are high, my energy levels are high, and please, I would always sign up for anything that really just improves my energy levels. One more thing I'll be adding to my in for this month will be to automate my client offboarding processes. So I have amazing onboarding processes in place. If you don't know, one way you can know will be to work with me. But yeah, like I can dare to say that I have an amazing onboarding process in place, but I don't think my offboarding process is as amazing as my onboarding process, and that's one thing I want to be able to improve on. And that's one thing I even love about doing the review for your month, because you see things that are working, you see things that are not working, you see room for improvement, and you're going ahead to do this. So even if you haven't gotten to the point where you have all of these things in place, it can be as simple as improving your content creation process. It can be simple as improving the process by which you connect with people. Do you see? So let's dive straight into my outs for the month of February. One thing I really want to throw out of the bin in the month of February will be thinking just in my brain. I want to be able to move my thoughts to paper. So, as an overthinker or maybe a recovering overthinker, one thing I almost always struggle with is that I'll say, oh, let me just brainstorm this thing in my brain. It's amazing, it's nice. That's why it's called brainstorming, to do it in your head. But I've realized that I see more results when I brainstorm on paper. I'm a big fan of journaling. Before now, I used to run a thriving journal brand. So I've always been an advocate for journaling. Now, more than just even journaling at set times, yeah, like including journaling as a routine, I want to make it a part of my work process where I'm actively crafting out things in paper. Because I realized that every time I craft things out in paper, it's easier for me to understand, it's easier for me to break things down, and it's easier for me to overcome overthinking every time I do that. In the month of February too, I'm going to be throwing modesty or fake modesty out of the door. Yeah, so one thing I realized was that I had been slacking on sharing my clients' win. I had been slacking on sharing my client testimony. I was like, yo, my clients are amazing people. They are doing amazing work. They are winning in different ways. But I really don't share this as much as I'm supposed to share this. And I think maybe that's one of the reasons why I haven't grown, as much as I would love to. So one of the things I'm going to be doing in the month of February will be to share my clients win. So get ready in advance, yeah, to get choked up with my clients win. And even for you, yeah, you might look at it like, oh, well, I don't have amazing wins yet. Even with the simple progress that you've helped people achieve, yeah, you want to be able to do this. And how do you share your clients win when you're not even actively asking for feedback? So if at the moment your business isn't structured to do excellent work, if at the moment your business isn't structured to, ask for feedback, if at the moment your business isn't structured in a way that you're following, in a way that you're taking people through a framework, you're taking people through a method, and you're actively helping them achieve results, and then you're following up with those results, and you're collecting them, creating them as client wins, then you can now see that there's room for growth in that area. So you need to ask yourself, how can I ensure that I'm helping more people achieve more wins so that I have, a ton of client reviews or a ton of client testimonials to share? One final thing I'm throwing out of the door in the month of February will be being sad about my personality. For the longest time, like I've always been worried, like I used to feel like, oh, maybe I'm boring because I enjoy high value activities more. So I would rather spend my time reading, I'd rather spend my time watching YouTube videos than randomly doing things that are maybe aimless here. And apart from even that, like when I have conversations with people, I most times have conversations that are very intentional. When I'm checking up on you, I'm asking intentional questions. And to be honest, for the longest time, I used to feel like, oh, that was a bad thing. But one of the things I'm doing in the month of February is just leaning into this as a strength. So yes, I know like I have high value conversations and I have really amazing conversations. I'm no longer going to bully myself. I'm going to channel all of those high value conversations to the conversations that we would have here on YouTube. So I would bring different topics ranging from productivity to health and wellness to beauty, because I run a beauty brand, yeah, and even down to everything I do as a launch strategist, just so that we're having wholesome conversations together. Now, quick one: what would you be doing differently in the month of February? Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget, you can get the free launch productivity template from the link appearing just here on the screen, or you can download it in the description below. And I'll see you next week in my next video. Don't forget to share this video with someone who you think will benefit from it, and stay thriving. Okay, bye.